Good evening, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege and joy and delight to welcome you once again to the God Bless America Again telecast. Being produced and sponsored by the Westside International Church. Our church is conveniently located at 1862 4 Acre Road, right here in the beautiful city of Jacksonville, Florida. And we come to you thanking God for His goodness and His mercy to our church. Our church is a non-denominational, interracial, and word-oriented church that beams with God's love, and we want to give you a cordial invitation to come by and visit with us. And after you visit with us a few times, I guarantee you will join us. If you're looking for an uplifting, inspirational church that will give you a word from the Lord, Westside is where you want to come. 1862 4 Acre Road. And I am Dr. Bruce Scotton. I'm serving there as an administrative assistant to our wonderful pastor, the Bishop Ardell Kitchens, who will be coming to you pretty soon with a word from the Lord. He's doing a series this week on His Love Wins. And I'm telling you, you're going to want to hear this word from the Lord from our great pastor and shepherd. Many of you have inquired as to the musical accompaniment that we have during our telecast, and a lot of times when pastor's teaching. Many people wondered, who is that? Is that a tape or whatever? No, my friend. That's the musical accompaniment of our pianist himself, Brother O.G. Duncan, right at our church. And you'll get to see him today on the telecast. A great man of God, a piano player extraordinaire. And if you come visit with us, you'll get to see all of that live. We're also thankful to have Deb Wilson and her perspective on God in American history. Many of you have commented that you've been blessed by that. I'd like to introduce Deb right now for her to come and give us this week's perspective of God in America. And immediately following her will be our pastor, Bishop Ardell Kitchens.
Good evening and welcome to the History of God in America. In our last segment, we talked about the fallacy of the statement that politics and religions don't mix. We examined the requirements of the politicians in our past to acknowledge their Christian faith. We also talked about our obligation as Christians to be politically active. We cannot expect America to return to her Christian heritage if we do not rally to support moral leaders who will stand for what is right in the face of opposition. Evangelical Christians far outnumber the special interest groups who have led our nation down a path of destruction. And yet they continue to force the will of the minority over the will of the majority for one reason: they are passionate about their causes. If we want to see America reborn, one nation under God, we must become just as passionate about the cause of righteousness. Last week I read an article by David Barton entitled Congress, the Culture, and Christian Voting. Barton's research spanned a period of 14 years from 1992 to 2006. There are 60 million evangelical Christians in America, yet only 15 million voted in the year 2000. Preceding the 2002 elections, national evangelical leaders widely urged Christians to register and vote their values. These efforts resulted in a 2% increase in Christian voter turnout. Now, while that may not sound significant, it resulted in dramatic improvements. For example, the 2002 Congress became the first to pass 3 bills that protected unborn life: the Infant Born Alive Protection Act, the Unborn Victim of Violence Act, and the Partial Birth Abortion Ban. Evangelical leaders continue to encourage Christians to vote, and in the 2004 elections, 28.9 million answered that call. That's a dramatic increase in just 4 years. Because of these efforts, a number of pro-life, pro-faith, and pro-family legislators have been elected to the Congress, along with 15 new pro-life senators and the confirmation of 2 new pro-life justices of the U.S. Supreme Court. Unfortunately, in the 2006 elections, Christian voting dropped again to 20.5 million. With almost 40% of evangelical Christians are not voting. Homosexual men vote at a rate of 92.5% and lesbian women at a rate of 91%. And yet we shake our heads and wonder what is happening to America. Please allow me to read a statement from President James A. Garfield, the 20th President of the United States and a minister of the gospel during the Second Great Awakening. He made this statement in 1876. Now more than ever before, the people are responsible for the character of their Congress. If that body be ignorant, restless, and corrupt, it is because the people tolerate ignorance, restlessness, and corruption. If it be intelligent, brave, and pure, it is because the people demand these high qualities to represent them in the national legislature. If the next centennial does not find us a great nation, it is because those who represent the enterprise, the culture, and the morality of the nation do not aid in controlling the political forces. It's wonderful to learn about history, but I think it's time that we made history. Clearly, there's a direct correlation between Christian voter turnout and the percentage of elected leaders who embrace and reflect biblical values. Until we meet again, may God bless you and God bless America.
Thank you so very much, Deborah, for the history of God in America. I would like to continue the series tonight. I love it when love wins. Oh, I love it when love wins. I wonder, have any of you fellas ever been in the proverbial doghouse as I have? Oh, don't look at me in that tone of voice. I know you've been there. We all have been there at one time or another. And if you're a newlywed and haven't been there yet, hold the phone. You will be there. It's not a very nice place to be. I wonder, have any of you ever had to sleep on the couch?